first?
No, it was brought to me as a producer and as an actor, so that was kind of just, it kind of went hand in hand. Yeah, it's strange how that stuff kind of happens, because I don't produce everything that I do. But there was something about this that just felt kind of like it fit somehow in wanting to wear both of those hats. You know, for me, it really, at the end of the day, is all about being creative. And I find it sometimes really helpful for myself as an actor, because I can find myself overthinking process and content when I'm sitting in a trailer for too long. And it kills a little bit of that just kind of guttural reaction to material. And so I have found, you know, in the time that I've produced, that when I have to deal with other things that force me to switch off, it actually makes me a better actor.
Great.
The script really came to me written really well. Really, I thought that Gilles did a great job with it. And, you know, we worked on it a little bit. I know that he had spent a lot of time with Gillian, and I almost felt like I knew her through him. They had gone to Kansas and drove down the roads where the story took place and where she grew up. And, you know, he really wanted to embed himself in that kind of Kansas Americana, you know, being French. I think he realized that that was really important, and Gillian took him on that adventure. And so they spent a lot of time developing. I felt like we worked in a three-way triangle through him, you know, and it wasn't until she came and did the cameo for a day that I actually met her on the film. And then, yeah, she plays Lizzie Borden in the film. In the Kill Club, she sits with the axe. Camera kind of moves past her as I'm going in. And
didn't recognize her.
Yeah, she was really fun, and it was great that she was up for that. And I have a real affection for her. I have a real affection for her writing and appreciation and admiration for how she writes women. She has a voice that I think people are really reacting to in a positive way, because it's really truthful, you know. And of course I'm going to say Libby is my favorite character, because I might be a little biased, but we've talked a lot about the creation of Libby and where she came from in her head, and how fond she is of Libby. So we didn't spend that much time while making the movie, but in a weird way I felt very connected to her. It's always interesting when you work off a book, and what actually, not so much, what I've learned in my experience is that it's not so much how exact you are with the translation than the essence. And sometimes, you know, doing absolutely everything that's in the book does not make a good movie, and also doesn't feel authentic to the book. And I find the good ones are always the ones that feel like somebody really understood the energy and the essence of this. And so, of course, there are things that are different. I knew going in that I, you know, was kind of up against a wall. You know, this character was written at 5'2" and giant breasts and red hair, and there was a lot of it that physically I had no control over. And so for me, it became very important right from the beginning to figure out a way to get the essence of her across, and that was more important than the actual being that specific with the physicality of it. I think a lot of the story just, you know, informed me a lot on her. You know, there were things that kind of came to me once I understood this this person who obviously had become so stunted in her growth after that event, and I think it was because she didn't know how else to survive, and her survival was just stop, you know, don't grow up, don't ever become an adult, and just kind of live in this like teenage manner in the squatter of a home, and don't have any responsibility for yourself, and don't get a job, and it's all based from fear. You know, it's just the fear of your life and the truth of your life, and not wanting to look at that. And I think that's something that anybody can relate to. You know, we don't all have to go through some horrible tragedy in our life in order to understand Libby. I think it's part of the human condition to go through your life not wanting to kind of look at the things that in many ways form you, and those are usually the most painful things.